2017, there's a look at the beautiful state-of-the-art Mercedes-Benz Stadium here in Atlanta, GA. The veteran punter Bradley Pinion has this one teed up, and we are underway from Atlanta. The lane opens here. He's past the 30. It's a foot race. And they are not going to catch him. He's in. Touchdown, Saints. The point after, good by Groupie. And that makes the score 7-0. So now the other return teams out there as they'll try to duplicate what they just saw. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34. So out come the Falcons now. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. First carry of the game now for the Texas superstar, Bijan Robinson. Takes it to about the 37.
Not a lot of running room there, not a place to make a cut and kind of exit out because they had everything bottled up. Looked to me like the linemen were taking on their blocks really well and giving up no creases.
This a 2nd and 7 from the 37. To the air, Penix. Middle of the field, it's Robinson. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 14 yards there and a Falcon first down.
And it's a real luxury when you have a guy who can turn a short throw into a solid gain at any moment. Once he caught that ball, he ID'd where the open grass was and got there in a hurry to pick up a new set of downs for his offense.
And looking to throw, Penix. Short throw caught by Pitts. And he's got room. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. A big play there on the catch and run. And it'll result in a fresh set of downs.
You don't always expect tight ends to be big in terms of run after the catch, but after that play, he joins a growing band of players that's putting that stereotype right on its ear.
And looking to throw, Penix. Over the middle, caught by London. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
And I think this is a route we'll see more of as this game goes on because with his speed, they want to get him the ball in space on drag routes just like this. They want him to get the ball and run after the catch. Good job there, though, holding him for a short gain.
Robinson, he'll try the left side. And he'll be stopped after a gain of only a couple down to the 15-yard line. So that time they get the tight end on the hold.
Normally he's a pretty good run blocker, but this time he just didn't get his arms extended and let go quickly enough. The flag came out as a result.
They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on 2nd and inches. Robinson on a give right side. And nowhere for him to go again. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage. That's in. No gain that time, and it leaves him with 3rd and 11 coming up. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
On 3rd down, Penix from the gun. And they'll get this down to the 10. The escapability in evidence there as that one good for 15 and a first.
He's a talented runner, and that means he's always looking for bigger and bigger gains when he takes off. Certainly found some bonus yards there beyond the first down marker, and this early drive will continue with that extra jolt from his legs.
On 1st and 10, it's Robinson. And this play goes nowhere, losing yardage back to the 15. Credit Brian Brzee in there to greet him and drop him for a loss.
Well, how about the big guy there showing some agility? He just float from his D-tackle position in order to make that play.
Well, this has been a good march down the field, but now they're stuck looking at a 2nd and 14. Now Penix. Fish underneath for Robinson. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. So the completion good for just 3. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11. Well, safe to say the passing game has found a rhythm. He's now 4 of 4, but might need to be 5 of 5 to keep this drive going here as they face a 3rd down.
And maybe perhaps you show a running play, right? Maybe a little play action here to go ahead and let him throw the ball downfield. I wouldn't get away from him flinging it because
puts it on the carpet. It's out. Bad place to fumble down here in the red zone. At least they got it. They'll have another shot. Or no, they won't have another shot. It's going to be 4th down. Maybe they can at least salvage 3.
And they were thinking 6 points because at this position of the field, it's go time, right? You take your shots at the end zone. They weren't able to do that one. So you look over at the sideline. There's the head coach saying, oh, heck, kick it. Field goal time.
Koo knocks this one through the post. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. And all in all, a pretty decent opening drive, Charles. Pretty balanced. They had the passing game going and the rushing attack, too.
I would think they have to be happy with that start because you get your ground game going, which means your offensive line and your runners are pretty happy, and then you get your aerial attack going as well. So your quarterback and receivers have smiles on their faces. Now both up to speed, awaiting their next possessions for this game. They can't wait to get started again.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. Carr going to lead the Saints up here 1st and 10. Right at the 30. From nearby Norcross, Georgia, it's Alvin Kamara. And he's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
Counting down toward the midway point in quarter 1. Slot man moves right. Throwing now is Carr. Tries the left side and finds Olave. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. The catch and run there, good for 16 and a first.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
And he got a little aggressive too early.
And he did, wanting that quick takeoff as the ball was snapped. But I think sometimes those big guys on offense, they're pretty cagey too, right? They make those little sudden moves or those little subtle moves that get you to jump.
Now a chance to make that encroachment penalty really hurt. 1st and 5. They'll pound it up the middle with Kamara. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41.
Only 4 yards on that gain, but you know, a lot of people would say that's like getting 9 in normal circumstances since this was 1st and 5.
Yeah, now your playbook's wide open here, 2nd and very short.
Yeah, I still don't think that you can count it in the stats that way at contract time.
No, it still goes down as 4, not 9. 2nd down, and it's Kamara again. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. They go backwards there 2 yards, and 2nd and 1 is now 3rd and 3.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
They fake the handoff. Now Carr. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have a Saints first down by a couple of yards as they're able to convert here on 3rd and 3. Well, they kept it simple there, CD, only needing the short gain to move the chain, so they didn't want to go with a deep throw. They just go with that safer, shorter throw and able to convert.
Nothing wrong with that at all, partner. Check the box, right? Make sure you pick up the first down. Offense is getting established. You're moving the ball. You're not turning it over. Check, check, check. They like what they're doing early in the game.
14 yards is the pickup. First down, New Orleans.
Anytime you hear the term an explosive run, most teams I know define that as any run over 10 yards, and they got that and more. How about a lot of credit for the big guys up front? That offensive line firing out, creating plenty of space, and a big run ensued.
Now Carr. Throw complete right side to Cooks. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. Call it a gain of 14 for the second play in a row.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they're going to be set up with a 1st and goal.
To throw, it's Carr. They'll get this out to Kamara. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. Only a couple yards there, and that's going to set up a long 3rd and goal. Defensively, I think they can smell a stop. Ball right around the 5 here brings up 3rd.
And I think what they've done is they put doubt in the minds of the offensive guys. What do we do? Because now you don't have a go-to play. Either side they pick.
Got a man, it's Cooks. Touchdown, New Orleans. It's a 6-yard touchdown pass, and the Saints add 6 to their lead.
I do believe we came here to see a game, didn't we? And it looks like he's running what we call routes versus air. You just go out there with your offensive unit and throw the football with no defense. He's 5 for 5 on the opening drive.
He was on his game there for drive number 1, but my only thing is now he can't go any higher than that. He was so perfect. Can he do it again later?
Yeah, all he cares about right now is making it 10 for 10, 15 for 15.
Keeping that going.
And he feels like he can get it done.
After the touchdown, here's Groupie to kick this one away. Oh, a good return up past the 30. And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34. So for the second time in this one, we get set to see the Falcons offense. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it. Forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize. Like going to the county fair, you don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material.
Well, anytime he reads man coverage, I don't think it's going to be the only time he'll try and hit that route to the outside in this game. He'll test the perimeter, but that time, they were up to the challenge.
Here's Penix. That's going to be caught by Pitts. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. That one covers 24 yards. It's a 1st down.
And that was good protection there. No, that was great protection there because it allowed him to lock in on his receiver, although I think he was looking for his tight end on the corner route all the way. Nice connection there for a really nice gain.
And that's going to be incomplete.
And I could see the officials kind of looking at each other down there, silently wondering, does this meet the level of grounding? Fortunately, he did have a receiver in the area, but I have seen less obvious throwaways called as penalties.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. They'll throw with Penix. Targeting Pitts on the out route, and he's got it complete. And he'll be out just a yard or 2 shy of the 30. A busy first quarter. His 3rd catch of the afternoon is a 1st down.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play, and that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
Throw left side. There's London. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and it's 2nd down. With these run-pass options, we often talk about a good quarterback and running back. Well, having a talented wide receiver helps also.
Yeah, even coming in third in the discussion, sometimes that means he really should be first because all you want to do is get the ball in their hands and let them make the big plays downfield.
A play fake. Now Penix. Rush coming, and he's taken down. They push him back 8 yards that time on 2nd down. Well, certainly not an ideal first quarter for him. Remember, he lost the fumble earlier, and here he ends up on the ground with a sack.
And sometimes what happens when you make a mistake early, you get too cautious going forward. Just cover up the football and take care of it and be able to cut it loose. Otherwise, your offense is going to stall.
Back now in Atlanta, second quarter action. The Falcons with the football. 7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. Penix working out of the gun here. It's caught on the right side by Robinson. And this is going to be another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Saints 14. A 3rd down gain of 19.
Yeah, these are the types of plays they're going to need to hit on if they're going to get back into this game. It hasn't been the greatest of first halves, but this is a nice throw here on 3rd down, and they keep the drive going.
They had to settle for 3 last drive, hoping this second go-around ends in 6. In good position, 1st and 10. Looking for London on the out route complete. And he's down inside the 5 at the 4 before he's out of bounds. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave him with a 2nd and just a few inches left. Back to throw. Steps away to his... And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Tano Passanio. He's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9.
Well, they had the right down and the definite distance to take a shot downfield, but it didn't work out the way that they had envisioned.
No, that's a situation where if you take a sack close to the line of scrimmage, it's not that bad, but a loss like that, you can't take a sack there.
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing you cannot do, they did.
Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. It'll be a loss of 8 on the sack, and it's going to lead him to 4th down. He continues, Charles, to be under constant pressure, and these sacks, they're starting to pile up.
And if they want to have a realistic chance in this one, they've got to change their blocking assignments. They've got to do a better job to keep him upright. If he's going to be on the deck constantly, they've got no chance to win this game.
Koo knocks this one through the post. And a second field goal here cuts their deficit to 14-6 now. So the 3 points there, and CD, that helps them inch a bit closer.
Yeah, partner, when you're losing, any points you see go on the board in your favor, you're happy to take them.
The punter Pinion now to kick this one away. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. New Orleans Saints, they get ready to set up shop for their second drive. A good starting spot for the Saints as they come up 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. Now Carr. Now throw out wide, going to be incomplete.
No sense risking anything there on 1st down. Even though he's still in the pocket, he had a receiver out to his side, so just put that in a spot where the only people who could make a play on it are the trainers and the coaches. Well done.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. Kamara up the middle. And able to use his blockers to get this up over the 40. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
Well, this play sequence was really kind of called in reverse. Incomplete pass on 1st and 10. Nice run on 2nd and 10 when probably everyone was expecting him to throw the football. Now, if you're the defense, what are they going to do on third down? You're a little off balance.
Carr. He's got his running back out of the backfield. And he is going to have a Saints first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
Carr now to throw. And that one too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete. He shook his head right when he released that throw. He knew it was going to be a little off target.
Yeah, the excitement got him on that one. Wasn't able to control the fact the receiver was open, and it would have been an easy throw.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now Carr. He'll get this one underneath to Kamara. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5. Here's Carr. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Saints first down by about a yard as they find a way to convert there on 3rd down and 5.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the first down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
Yeah, they're right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. Now this one taken in by Olave. He'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6. And the ball on the 30. Here's 2nd and 4. Again, it's Carr. That's Olave bringing in another one. And that's going to be good for another first down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 18. 12 yards that time for number 12 as they move the chains.
What an intelligent play as he found open grass and uncovered quickly. A nice clutch play to move the chains. The defense, they've got to do a much better job of accounting for these shorter routes.
Here's Carr to throw. That's complete to his running back, Kamara. And able to get this down inside the 15 to either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it could turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
To throw his Carr. Finding Johnson on the out route. That's complete. And he takes it inside the 10 to the 8 before he's out of bounds. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion. And that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot. Carr gonna throw. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And the Saints are going to be set up with a 1st and goal as they get the conversion there on 3rd and inches.
And in a lot of ways, that catch is expected. Red zone presence, and that one was realized there. You've got to find your tight end in that situation.
So another 3rd down conversion, and now they've got a 1st and goal. Carr to throw again. Got a man, it's Cooks. Touchdown, New Orleans. Brandon Cooks with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Saints go up by 2 touchdowns. In the 2nd quarter, and already his 2nd touchdown reception.
Absolutely the definition of a difference maker here in this first half. Clearly one of his quarterback's favorite targets in this game, and I figure he's going to draw a little more attention and coverage moving forward.
After the touchdown, here's Groupie to kick this one away. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Atlanta prepped and readied for its next possession. They've been settling quite a bit. They've been able to move the football some, but they've just been settling. That's one of the reasons they're down on the scoreboard.
I love that word you picked, settling, because nowadays in this NFL, you're thinking touchdown almost every drive because everything's so high-powered. Yeah, you'll take the field goal, but you always feel like you're leaving points out there when you don't put it in the end zone.
They'll be trying to put it in the end zone here on this drive.
With a rookie quarterback out there, you're definitely going to find out how he handles adversity because this one so far hasn't gone according to plan. He's got to fight through it and show him what he's made of.
So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. To the air, Penix. And this is taken in by Darnell Mooney. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 15 yards there on the play as they try to chip away at this 15-point deficit.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half, but I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
That's out wide here for Robinson. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
Now that's the type of play that gives you a chance to win. Nothing forced downfield where you don't have a guy open. Swing it out to the back, on maybe even check it down, whatever you want to call it. Gain of 5. You're just trying to get 4 on first down. They're ahead of the chains now.
Robinson up the middle. And nowhere really to go there. He'll take this up just shy of midfield. 5 yards on first down, but now just a 1-yard pickup there on 2nd.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
The Falcons on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Now Penix. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints 37. A 3rd down conversion with a strong gain of 14.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. Out of the gun, they give to Robinson. Down at the 35, it'll be 2nd down.
The passing game's been working quite well so far, but the running game's been a little bit of a struggle, and that's a surprise to me. Typically, when you can throw it, you've opened up lanes for your runners.
From the 35, here's a 2nd and 8. Robinson with another carry. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
So 3rd down now. They need the 27-yard line for a first. Here's Penix. Forced out to his left. And he nearly got the first himself, but it appears he's going to be about a yard or 2 short. Decent gain on the scramble to 6, but now it's 4th. And we'll see Younghoe Koo now for the Falcons. Spotted at the left hash, this from 45. Koo knocks this one through the post. And they're hanging around here as the lead's down to 12. So they get the 3. It was 4th and 1. And yeah, I think you were doing what I was doing. I was looking down at the sideline. I'm not sure the offensive unit wanted the 3. They wanted to go for it.
But when have we ever seen a unit that didn't want to go for it in that situation, right? Sometimes it's just way more important to have the points on the board than to worry about any type of a gamble.
The punter Pinion now to kick this one away. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. The New Orleans offense set to take over. Well, this offense looks like they have a little extra pep in their step as they take the field here for drive number 3, because remember, Charles, drives 1 and 2 both ended in the end zone.
Yeah, and right now they've just got to be careful not to lean into overconfidence, because every drive has a life of its own. But I like the way that they've started, the way that they're going about doing things right now. They've got a chance for that 3rd consecutive touchdown, and that would be a crushing blow to the defense.
Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Now Carr. Complete. It's Johnson. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. The Saints first down there on a gain of 11.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
To throw, it's Carr. Olave over the middle. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Throwing now is Carr. And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game that has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try and pick up another first down.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Throw complete right side to Cooks. And that's going to be good for another first down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 25-yard line. Talk about a big first half. Already has the 2 touchdowns, adding to his receiving total there and picking up the first down.
He's coming off the line so fast. I think he's intimidating the defensive backs with his explosiveness, and he's chipping away at their confidence.
Shotgun now for Carr. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. It'll go as a gain of 25 on a play that started back at the 25. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. Carr. And he wisely will throw that one away.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. Another shot from the 1 on 2nd and goal. Now Carr again. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. 3rd touchdown pass now for Derek Carr. And the Saints would extend their lead here just before halftime.
That's one of the better examples of clock management I've seen. Whittled it all the way down just about and still put the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, just a methodical drive and something really to take into the lockers here. Groupie able to add the PAT. And that will make this a 19-point game. So time enough for a kickoff here. 5 seconds remaining in this first half. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. And the Falcons going to get one more drive here in this first half. And with 5 seconds to go, this will likely be our final play. Likely time for one final snap as they start out 1st and 10. They'll throw now on the final play. He's going to float this one deep right side. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. That's it for the first half. 2 more quarters to go. We'll have plenty more to see after the break. It'll be Falcons football, and they trail here as we get back underway on EA Sports. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. So we get set to start this third quarter. Here's the Falcons offense now. And you have to think, Charles, down 3 scores already. They need to play an almost perfect second half to have a solid chance.
And that absolutely starts with finding some way to put together a touchdown drive here. They need to be smart, fast, efficient, get the ball into the end zone, and do it again multiple times in order to have a chance to win this game.
And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down.
You know what I like about that play? He didn't try to do too much on 1st down. He took what the defense gave him, put together a solid gain to bring up 2nd and manageable. Now they have a couple of plays to pick up just a few yards and a new set of downs.
Now flags come flying in. One of the Falcons moved early. They were looking good on 2nd down, but now they're backed up 5 yards by the false start, and it's 2nd and 8. And looking to throw, Penix. Man open, that's Ray McLeod. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. He was held without a catch in the first half, but he's got one here, and he also picks up a 1st down.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays are out there.
Looking to throw, Penix. He's got the hook up to McLeod. They'll give him 4 yards there, and it's 2nd down.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Straight ahead, it's Robinson. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7 as that one officially a loss of 1.
I know they'd love to take some heat off of that young quarterback, but so far, not much in the running game, and this won't help things either. A loss on that play.
On 3rd down, Penix from the gun. And this is going to be incomplete.
Well, this is just a continuation of what we saw in the first half. So much for the fresh start to begin the third quarter. Still off-target throws, no rhythm throwing the football, and obviously no touchdown scored in this game.
Here's Bradley Pinion now. And surprisingly, this is the first punt of the game for either team. And no one there to stop it. Hits at the 8, but it carries all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Now the attention turns to the Saints offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. Right now, everything they touch turns to gold. This is their 4th possession. Touchdowns on their first 3 possessions. I mean, this defense, they can't seem to stop them. It's like they're on skates.
Great analogy, Brandon, because they are pushing them back and winning everything at the line of scrimmage. They've just been laying down tracks towards the opposite end zone. So to themselves, all they're saying is, if we don't make a mistake, there's no way they can stop us.
Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a 1st down.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the third quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league, They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
Now Carr drops this off to Kamara out of the backfield.
Just unable to on that throw.
Again, it's Carr. He lets it go deep for Olave. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
So 1 first down on that drive, and that's it. Forced to take the deep shot on 3rd down and couldn't hit it. Now they have to punt this one away.
Here comes the Saints punter now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the 3rd. Pulled in at the 24. Call that a 44-yard punt, 5 on the return. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. Atlanta now coming out on the field. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
And he's got a good gain of 7 up to the 37.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
So from the 37, here's 2nd and 3. In motion goes McLeod. They'll go play action here with Penix. And that's incomplete. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Robinson will try to pick it up. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. Defensively, they rally the troops to force 4th down after that 7-yard pickup back on 1st.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
Here's Bradley Pinion now as he's on to punt for Atlanta. Fair catch called for and made right at the 25-yard line. Yeah, call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. Carr going to lead the Saints up here 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. He'll start with a give to Kamara. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
Olave motioning to the left. From the gun, it's Carr. Gets this complete to Shaheed. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down.
I think that's a big pickup for a 1st down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a 1st down. Executed it to perfection. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now a handoff. Here's Kamara. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. Those are the plays this defense needs with the deficit they're facing.
It certainly is, and they've got to continue to swarm the football and hope that someone, while they're holding up the ball carrier, can get in there and rake it and lock it free. They need to get some takeaways as well.
Here's Carr to throw. He finds his man Johnson. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a 1st down. 5th catch of the game for him there.
Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. Used to be occasional, right? Safety valve. throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block. Nowadays, an integral part of the passing game, and they create such great mismatches that they often become the leading receiver.
Again, it's Johnson. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and that'll bring up second down.
I don't care what sport you're playing. Everyone likes to build up a little momentum, don't they? And look at this, back-to-back completions to the big target at tight end.
That one not as profitable as the other, but still a decent gain. Ball on the 40 now. Here's second down and 3. Carr going to throw. That is incomplete.
The coverage keyed in on him since that last completion his way. He earned a little more attention on that route, and that made it a lot tougher to get a clean throw his way.
7th play of the drive now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. Here's Kamara trying to run for it. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. 42 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries.
Brandon, I think you and I were both raised the same way in the game of football. You run to set up the pass, but I think we've discovered in this NFL, a lot of teams pass to set up the run. And that's what they've done throughout this game. They've aired it out, thrown it around the yard. Now they've come back to the running game, and they find a way to be successful with it.
And his throw here's incomplete.
They had their backs up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. Looking to throw.
And he'll get this one underneath to Kamara.
And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play.
And he is going to have a Saints first down as they're able to convert by plenty there on 3rd and 1.
I don't know about you, but that almost felt like old-time football there. 3rd and 2 is not necessarily just a running down anymore. A lot of times they want to throw the ball. They went back to the roots and powered forward and got the first down.
Here's Carr. And that's complete to Cooks. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
Line of scrimmage, the 9. 2nd and about a yard.
To throw his Carr. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Coaches talk about it all the time. Players talk about it as well. Excellent job staying disciplined in coverage and making that stop. Inside the red zone, every stop like that could be preventing a possible touchdown.
They tried the throw on 2nd down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1. Back to the ground. It's Kamara. And he will have the first down before he's brought down at the 3. Give him the 3rd down conversion, 5 yards on the play.
Well, this has been a long drive. In fact, it's eaten up a good chunk of the 3rd quarter, which is precisely what you want when you're playing with the lead. You control the football, you control the clock, and impose your will on the defense.
They'll send one of those 2 tight ends in motion.
Kamara is into the end zone for a Saints touchdown.
Well, he'd been the workhorse on this drive, and it would have been unfair to bring someone else in to finish the job. So they go back to him again, and he delivers with a touchdown run.
Groupie for the extra point.
And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead.
After the touchdown, here's Groupie to kick this one away. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. And here now come the Falcons. Charles, a very uninspired effort. The last time we saw them out there was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
They start on the ground with Robinson here.
And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. Well, this defense, they've got the 4-score advantage, and you can see why they continue to bottle up the run game, and really they've just been sharp in all facets here in this one, CD.
Yeah, they've kept that offense in check the entire game, and I think it's been led by what you just talked about, that defensive front, which has not allowed them to run the football and establish control of the line of scrimmage.
And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a third down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
A third down now. Those last two plays indicative of how things have gone for them. Just nowhere to go on the ground and struggling to put up points. Into the hands of London.
Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. So the completion good for 7 there, and that's going to make it 4th down.
Well, it looks like they got what they wanted. They got the completion, but they weren't able to break any tackles or gain nearly enough yardage to pick up the first down. Now to be 4th and short.
The punt team on now as Pinion sends this one away. This is brought in at the 21. It's a 40-yard punt, 6 yards on the return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Now the Saints coming back out ready to go for this next drive. Carr going to lead the Saints up here 1st and 10.
At their own 27. They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And this will leave them a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. 3 quarters in the books.
You are watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Back now in Atlanta. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. Now Carr. He gets it to Cooks. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. He's been big. 2 touchdowns earlier. Now he's got a first down here.
There's a beautiful throw there, and he's been sensational the entire game, moving it around, spreading it, hitting the right guys. And look, under normal situations, partner, I would expect him to come out of the game now. They've got it in hand. But you and I have been around this league a long time, and every time we ask head coaches about it, hey, why don't you take your quarterback out when the game's in hand? They just kind of give us that look like that's what he's paid to do. So it's a very unusual situation. I'd want him out. They tend to leave him in.
Now, I think we can get used to seeing more of that in this 4th quarter, especially if they're having success on the ground like they did there.
Yeah, I think back when we met with the head coach in preseason, and all he talked about was building a bully. And I think it was this situation he was envisioning. Trying to ice a game, plenty of time left, but being able to give the ball to his big runner and pound away and try and finish off a game.
And Kamara's going to have a Saints first down as he'll get this down to the 36.
Hate to be blunt, but it is just continuing to prove to be the case that this O-line is manhandling this D-line right now.
They deserve to roll up their sleeves and show up their biceps because they're doing exactly what you just described, manhandling the defensive front. They've got the leverage, they are powering through, and they're controlling this game.
5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And that'll be a free 5 yards for the offense.
Just like a tennis match, that's just an unforced error. Stay alert. Don't jump early and give them free yardage.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. Now they'll throw with Carr. There's a short one caught by Johnson.
It's vitally important to wrap him up immediately, because if you let that big guy get ahead of steam up, boy, then you've got real trouble trying to get him down.
But they're able to hold him to a short gain on 1st down. From the 22 now, here's 2nd and 6. Throwing now is Carr. His throw caught at about the 5. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another 1st down.
Tell you what, partner, the way he's been slinging it in this one, I think he should be ticketed for a baseball cap and a set of headphones for the next drive. He's been absolutely sensational. But one thing we've both learned about quarterbacks in this league, they often stay on the field longer than you expect.
And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down.
Did your high school have that same push 'em back cheer?
I was a kicker.
Well, it certainly worked. Didn't matter whether we were kickers or not. That one worked, didn't it? They pushed him back at his last snap of the ball, and boy, they created a nice play for themselves. Would they lose 3 on that one?
Yeah, from the 1 back to the 4. That is caught by Olave. Touchdown, New Orleans. Make it 4 touchdown passes now for Derek Carr. And the Saints start to open this lead even wider here in the 4th. Boy, he has been fun to watch throwing the football in this one. It's certainly not fun for that defense, though, Charles. Now up to 4 touchdown passes in this ball game.
Yeah, we're supposed to be neutral, but I'm feeling their pain right now because he has absolutely carved up this secondary. A clinic on how to attack a defense and take them out of the game.
After the touchdown, here's Groupie to kick this one away. A solid return, pretty good field too. Here comes the Atlanta offense now. But we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
So the contact came before the ball got there, and the flag is thrown.
Timing is everything, isn't it? And it's so hard to cover these great receivers. They have such great body control, and they can fake you out. In this case, as you described, got there before the ball got to the receiver. Penalty flag had to come out.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. They'll throw with Penix. Middle of the field, it's Robinson. So the completion good for 6 yards, and that will bring up 2nd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Here's Penix. Throw left side, complete to McLeod. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
Here's 2nd and 10. To throw again is Penix. Caught out left side by Robinson. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4. And looking to throw, Penix. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints' 26. 18 yards, a big pickup there on third down. Now, fourth quarter, certainly not enough time for a comeback, but nice to see them making use of the time remaining to try and make this one a little more respectable.
Yeah, I think the ultimate goal, good execution, be crisp, be sharp, and find a way to put some points on the board to make this thing look just a little bit better.
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. He has just been completely taken out of this game. We're in the fourth quarter. He's single digits in the rushing department.
And I know we look at him because the numbers do go to his production, but how about the guys blocking for him? They don't just have his number as a ball carrier. They've got the number of the offensive line and the other guys because they're getting to him before he can get started.
On 2nd down, another shot for Robinson. And not much. Maybe a yard down to the 23. And the trend continues here in the fourth like it was in the first, second, and third. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
Touchdown, Falcons! Kyle Pitts.
23 yards for the touchdown.
And the Falcons are finally into the end zone here in this fourth quarter. Obviously, the scoreboard right now is not the friend of this rookie quarterback, but hey, a touchdown pass there maybe builds a little confidence.
Every rep is valuable when you're a rookie. Every time you step up and throw the football, there's a lesson to be learned. Yeah, he took advantage of a little bit of loose coverage there with the lead, but at the same time, got it done, and it'll take a little bit of satisfaction away from that throw.
And following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
Out onto the field comes New Orleans.
But not that any of the points would be needed, but CD, they've got enough time left here. They could definitely score on this drive, maybe even an ensuing drive as well, if they really want to drive home this landslide victory.
Yeah, we're certainly about to see just how aggressive they want to be here down the stretch. And what some coaches do is they try and meet it halfway, meaning they want to continue to run their offense, but they'll put in a lot of backups to do it and then tell the opposing coach, hey, I had to get them some work too. I can't just let them sit over on the sidelines all the time.
91 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
They'll bring one of the tight ends in motion right here. Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
2nd and 9 from the 44.
They run it again with Kamara. And he's going to get stopped up quickly. Give him a yard down to the 43.
Sometimes you're aligned perfectly and the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the play, as we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to throw one over his head as this game progresses.
They'll bring the tight end in motion right here. On play action, it's Carr. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe.
Disrupting that play and dropping him was Arnold Ebiketie. And, partner, it's safe to say that the secondary really contributed to that sack.
Yeah, nickel set, 5 defensive backs. They covered everything. Nowhere to go with the football. But my question is, why didn't he throw it away?
And he'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. Now the Falcons offense gets ready to head back onto the field. Even though they were able to force the punt defensively, still a big hole to climb out of, especially at this late stage of the contest. And looking to throw, Penix. And this will be caught by Mooney. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there, it's going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
Penix working out of the gun here. And he's taken down here by the Saints. It looks like a loss of right around 11 there on first down to set him back on second.
You can just see it in their body language. They're starting to see victory on the horizon now, and if it comes to fruition, they got to give a game ball to the front 7. Defensive line has taken charge and controlled this game. Face a challenge of stopping this opposing offense, and they've done so with ease.
Flushed out right, and he'll just get rid of it.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for him, and after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Operating from the gun, Penix. He's going to drop this underneath for Robinson. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. That one good for only 6, and it leaves them with a fourth down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
That's into the hands of Pitts, the tight end. And unable to break away. They stop him a few yards shy. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Saints are going to get it back and in great shape. Kamara try the right side. Down inside the 40.
Well, they certainly, so now they've got to be back on their heels a little bit as a defense.
From the 39-yard line, here comes second down at 6. Again, it's Kamara. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but, boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And, partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. Till next time, we say so long from Atlanta.